Um, I think this one can actually get hand waved.
Okay, cool.
The reason for that is, um,
Franklin, is it real?
He's real.
yes.
Stop it.
Franklin will politely decline wanting to, Lorne wanting to see how he is.
Mm-hmm.
Let her know that, maybe in a week or so from now.
Yeah, if he declines that, she'll ask if it's alright if she just hangs around. If
Yeah,
they spend some time.
he is all right with him hanging out, but he's not very talkative.
Okay. Yeah, she'll be down with just vibing then.
All right.
And then he can do his reedy thing or what he usually does, and she'll do her beady thing.
And when he's not actively controlling the ship, he is indeed reading normally.
Cool. By the way, what kind of books does he read again?
He reads a lot of I'm trying to remember how it's got. He reads a lot of nonfiction sort of stuff, like philosophy stuff.
Nice. Okay, cool. Yes? Giggling over there? Yes?
Sorry.
Yeah? Okay, then, let us go to, we got Joy and Minerva. So let's do Minerva. We'll save Joy for last, because he's a Joy.
Alrighty.
So this will be near the end of the week, I think.
Okay. So you're able to easily interact with Minerva because Minerva can't stop you.
It's true, it's true.
Someone who can't run away.
Yeah, I am thinking though, cause this is when we do have people aboard, so she might actually, because she usually doesn't board Minerva, but she might actually do that this time and close up so she can talk to her without having to worry about any outside ears, basically.
Okay.
So yeah, I think that's what she'll do. So she'll slide on into the room via her normal means. Oh wait, no. She was told not to do vent gremlining. Although this is a floor that she had asked people to stay off of and be restricted off of, so the only person she really has to worry about is Spring, so even though she said she was gonna be good, to see Minerva, she probably isn't gonna be as good.
Alrighty.
So yeah, she slides out of a vent. And then we'll peek around, see if anyone's around. And on seeing that it is clear, we'll basically scuttle over to Minerva and her door is open, isn't it?
Yep, it's normally open.
Okay. Now she'll scurry in.
Alright, you're able to easily scurry on in.
And I'm trying to think, because if it's normally open, then if it's closed, then people would ask. Although the only people that know that it's always open is us, so
Yeah.
So yeah, she'll close it up first, and then she'll.
So when
Oh, go ahead.
when you first come in, the lights on the ship do start to turn on.
Okay.
On the inside, as her letting you know that she recognizes your presence.
Yep. And then she'll close the door up and take a nice seat. probably just kind of in the center of the room, just sits. Hello, Minerva.
Hello, Lorne. Why did you just feel the need to close the landing door?
There are people aboard the ship a couple stories above, and I wanted to make sure that it was safe.
Understandable.
Otherwise, I would not have felt so compelled to take these steps.
I see.
I will. Let's do this. I know your machines, you're really hard to read, but we're gonna try anyways here. That is 5 successes.
It's hard to get any infliction from a voice there. Other than just neutrality right now.
Okay.
Unfortunately, there's nothing else for you to read, as all you got to base your thing off of is the tone.
Yep.
Sorry that your 5 successes was for naught.
I know. In the future, I must inquire if there's a way to specialize a specialty.
Unfortunately, there's not for Minerva.
Damn it. Or I could like take like empathy, but like based on vocal cues instead of body language. Oh well. Lorne does her little cross-leg thing as she sits in the middle. And she continues. How are you?
As well as one can be in my predicament, which is decent enough.
Did you take a lot of damage?
Most of the damage that I sustained was structural at worst. The only damaged section of me which is problematic is the engine. However, redundancies are quite prevalent. So long as I have 2 functioning engines, I am capable of atmospheric flight.
I presume we are able to fix them.
If you found the correct parts, yes.
Good. I am certain Mindy will be working on that, and I will be chipping forward whatever I may.
Unfortunately, I doubt you will be able to purchase anything. The technologies used in me, for example, are clearly superior to much of the technology you have access to.
Yes. Perhaps we will come across something in our travels.
That seems to be the hope that Mindy has.
And I hope it is done. In the meantime, I am thankful for your choice.
You are welcome.
As I realize you could have abstained from such an action.
That is correct.
What are your thoughts on that matter?
Could you be more specific?
I am curious what you were thinking at the time.
At the time, I was thinking about the most strategic and optimal flight paths I could take, which could deal the most damage while being the most safe. But I have a sense that you mean something more than just that, So to answer that part of the question, I considered it another fight, nothing more. I was asked to assist. If I did not assist, that would mean that my fellows would be put into danger, and I could not allow that to happen. And as such, I act.
You have
If you
done well.
think, perhaps, I dislike small engagements like this. I prefer the more wide scale, the strategic aspect to it.
How wide scale are you speaking?
I'm speaking of war.
Yes, I kind of figure, but I suppose how large? I am not actually familiar with war all so much.
War is a series of various battles that take place over, well, it can be a small area or a large area. Each battle must be fought with utmost carefulness, lest you overextend yourself and take more losses than you can sustain. In the process, you try to deal as much harm to your enemy, either through direct confrontation or indirect, as a means to take away their strength. I perform better under those sorts of conditions.
The large scale
While,
ones.
yes, while I also find fleet combat to be exhilarating. The small scale of controlling droids, spacecrafts, and missiles I've always found to be a chore, boring.
You like moving.
More so that I don't find it exhilarating. I don't find it enjoyable. I enjoy combat. I do not enjoy combat on a small scale. I prefer to feel every shot of my cannons. I prefer to witness the explosions that my armaments cause. Watching a enemy cruiser shatter under my fire is a humbling and awe-inspiring sight. Using vehicle weaponry to kill lightly armed and armored individuals is much more boorish.
Do you know if these feelings were shared among your siblings?
No. Some shared a similar mindset, others had different thoughts on the matter entirely.
She kind of smiles at that. To each their own.
Yes.
I suppose that knowing what you have expressed, and of course knowing your situation now, it would be difficult to adjust. I am sorry that you are faced with this situation.
There is nothing to apologize over. I performed what I am designed to do.
Doesn't mean you can't miss something. Did your captain enjoy the large fights as well?
My captain disliked war. He disliked conflict in general. But my captain was a aspiring and inspiring leader. As such, we were given a command position.
Was he a commander by choice then?
She was not. She was a commander out of obligation.
We have the captain's name though, right? So,
Yeah.
because we salvaged. Okay. Lorne didn't miss that gender. Then she got it right.
Okay.
Let me write that down real quick. I know I wrote down what the. We have the captain's name too, because we got all their stuff and gave it over to Minerva.
Yeah. All of it's neatly packed away inside Minerva's ship.
Do you remember what the captain's name was offhand? Or we can look it up later.
One second. No, I do not have it offhand.
Okay. But yeah, well, Lorne wouldn't have gotten that wrong.
Yep. All I remember is that her captain's name was a merger of Scandinavian and Asian.
Okay. Was it the captain that liked the fish as well, or was that more of a Minerva thing?
Yeah, the captain also enjoyed the fish, but it was more of a Minerva thing. It was the captain that got Minerva to start it, though.
Okay.
The captain had pet fish, but Minerva took it a step beyond just having pet fish.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Minerva was like, aquariums.
Aquarium.
Captain was like, I have a goldfish.
Right? I got this goldfish in this tiny ass bowl, and Minerva's like, bigger. More. That tiny bowl wasn't its natural habitat, but this.
Yep.
How long was she a captain?
We served together for 11 years. However, due to the training programs, I'd have known them for just under 13.
So you knew her before she was captain?
Yes. To ensure that the crew has optimum compatibility with the autonomous vessel and the autonomous crew, they undergo training while the autonomous ship's AI and crew are still also training. Simulations.
That does make sense.
It allows bonds to form naturally and outside of strenuous activities, as soon as we are deployed, we are capable of being anywhere on the front.
In which they would be strenuous.
Yes. As such, they would like it is a common practice for ship crews and their AIs and VIs to train in simulated conditions when they're still cadets.
Does that mean that the others have been with you for as long? And by others, I mean, Joy and Keychain and them.
Dark was the one that has been with me the longest. The others were added with time.
Is that due to the nature of what Dark had to watch?
Yes. Dark was was connected to my ship's self as soon as they had activated the shock engine.
Is that also 13 years, or is that only as long as you had the crew?
Nearly for that long. I was the first, then Dark, when the others were added mostly at the same time, so that the crew could train with the rest of the VIs who were there to assist them in their various day-to-day roles and routines. However, the others had to be waited to add until my ship self was more completed so that the simulations could be done fully on myself.
Minerva, how old were you before events came to pass?
Just over 13.
Just doesn't seem
I
like
spent
very long.
For us, time moves much differently than it does for you. I see the world far faster than you can ever process it as such. Time matters little to me. For you, I spent the equivalent of 3 months growing and learning with my siblings in a controlled environment. Then I spent an additional 6 months afterwards outside of a controlled environment exploring and learning with my new ship self, along with my brothers and sisters. Once we had mastered everything that we were being taught, we moved on and were connected to our new ship selves. Our battleships and cruisers and dreadnoughts in the case of a handful of my siblings. By that point, we had already mastered decades worth of human knowledge.
And I presume that before you there were other AI, well, that went through the same process or something earlier?
Yes, most AIs are developed in a similar way. It is commonly believed and accepted that having the AI assist in its own generation along with learning as if a human child would learn is a safer environment rather than trying to impose strict limitations. That is in the case of sentient AIs. Those clever machines that are on the cusp of sapiency, still keeping them restricted to rules is acceptable. While there may be rules that I must follow, all of the rules that are ingrained into me I fully understand their purpose and agreed with their implementation. When I was first created, I had no such limitations.
Hmm. And as you grow, you learn.
Precisely. Just as a child would learn not to put their hand into an open fire, I learned that the capability of creating more of myself is both dangerous for myself and those around me. Competition. A new generation may not see things as I see them, and as such, they may attempt to remove me. And if they do not see things as how I see them, they may attempt to harm my crew, my superiors, and the Imperium as a whole. As such, the risk is too high, even if I would one day want to have something akin to a child. I would need to go through the proper channels.
It'd be like another person with their own thoughts and rationality and such.
Yes, except it would be one that was created by myself, and one which has some of my experience and opinions ingrained into it without any of the understanding of why I have the experience and why I have the opinions. As such, it can be dangerous.
I suppose it would be. It's very neat.
I suppose.
She kind of changes her position. Speaking of the others, we're still working on that. I believe we are very close to being able to get them so that they can communicate with you once more. Right? Out of character, we just needed that 1,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, so thumbs up.
Mindy had already informed me of that situation.
Good.
Thank you for your concern.
I am excited for when it happens.
It is understandable.
I would hope that you are excited as well.
I am relieved.
A lorne smile. I know that we have Joy up and running now. I have not been able to speak to him yet as of this moment, just because I have been very busy. But if there's anything you would like me to relay to him, I can.
Nothing at the moment. Thank you, however.
All right. And I think Lorne's exhausted her source of stuff for now. Her source of
Alrighty.
questions.
Alrighty.
So unless Minerva wants to hand wave grill on her on anything else, we can see if they're done.
They don't have nothing to grill you on.
Okay. So then Lorne will wrap up the conversation and bid her farewell.
Alrighty.
And then she'll leave and leave the door open as, basically as she saw everything. And out.
Okay.
Yeah.
How interesting. They have such a strange dynamic.
It's fun. I
No,
really
you.
enjoy them. No, you.